Celine.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It was my pleasure to be in my podcast and today to talk about startups, startup ecosystem, and about 500. Can you introduce me a little bit yourself and tell me more about you?
Yeah, sure. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me. So I'm from Istanbul, Turkey. I went to US to study data science and cognitive science at UC Berkeley. So I stayed at SF for a couple of years. And then naturally, I began to like the startup ecosystem as its own and become more involved in it. I was briefly in consulting for a little bit, specifically an environmental consulting firm. And then the fate just made me go to Istanbul and meet my current general partners and join 500 Emerging Europe. And so I've been in this startup ecosystem and this beautiful team for quite some time, and it's going really great.
Sanya is your host these days. You're on Longest Beach Marathon.
Yes.
Sanya, please tell us a little bit more what will happen this weekend in Skopje.
Yeah, well, firstly, I'm the bodyguard, as you see. No, the first podcast with 3 people here.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's great to be here actually, together with you both, and especially Celine. Welcome this live on video welcome, and we are very happy to have you firstly, and thank you even agreeing to do this interview as any entrepreneur would do. We arranged it very fast. Yes, we arranged it because it was from Monday to Friday, the switching, and he was so flexible. So thank you, and I'm sure it would be great because always when things start this flexible and in a rush, great things happen afterwards, spontaneous. So what is going to happen? It's a longest business pitching marathon, or longest pitch marathon as we call it. It's happening tomorrow, and Celine is our special guest, representing a special venture capital that she will talk afterwards. And we have another guest as a speaker, maybe some other podcast. But first we give the priorities to Celine because she's leaving on Sunday. So her presence there would give higher, I would say, knowledge or value to the startups to actually get the feedback, but from a whole bigger perspective than they're used to get a feedback from someone who is great with metrics, something that we're going to talk about, and also to wider our scope of thinking about what startups really need and what's our competition, because it's not only Balkan our competition. So we would need this Southeastern Europe perspective that Celine can tell us.
Okay, and Celine, can you tell us more about 500?
Yes.
To give us some more introduction.
Yeah, sure. As you can see, we have these stickers.
Yeah.
They're all around Central Eastern Europe. They're all around the toilets specifically because that's our branding. As a team, we just put stickers everywhere. I have a lot of stickers on me right now. So as 500 Emerging Europe, we are a part of 500 Global. But apart from them, we raise our own funds and make our own investment decisions. And we have 2 funds right now. The first fund was in 2016, and it was relatively smaller checks, around 100, 200K. And we've done 40 investments so far from them. And we had 3 unicorns and 3 centaurs from the first fund.
Oh, very nice.
And the second fund started in 2021. It started as a 30 million fund, and then it became a 50 million fund, and now it's a 70 million fund. And we've also done 20 investments from that as well. And we're going to be doing probably another 20 more. And hopefully we'll be focusing more on the Central Eastern Europe region, and also specifically Turkey as well. You know that.
But why?
Yeah.
What's your expectation? I mean, it's what are the expectations? Why Southeastern Europe? I mean, I have my opinions, but I would like to hear.
So yeah, I can explain our thesis separately as well. But we believe in the emerging Central Eastern Europe as well as Turkey, and we believe and trust the talent that is emerging from here, especially the IT talent, and that we believe that we can support these talented entrepreneurs to a more global market expansion journey.
Exactly. I think that global market expansion is something that we all need here, because we work a lot with startups, but at some point they have innovative product, they have a great team, but the expansion is quite a trick afterward how to expand. So that will be actually the first panel discussion that we will have in Longest Beach Marathon tomorrow about how to expand in global markets.
Okay, and what type of startups you're looking for here in Macedonia? What you like to see exactly?
So we invest in ideation stage startups, mostly pre-seed and seed, and some sometimes later stage startups. We don't specifically focus on a specific industry. We are sector agnostic, but there is sometimes trends that you hop on. And in the first fund, that was healthcare, and we've done 5 healthcare investments in the first fund, and it went really good. And nowadays, it's the IT, AI, ML trend that is going on, and we try to follow that trend as well. So we hope to find startups with a clear tech moat in the CE region, and some talented technical IT sector entrepreneurs here.
For you, what is most important? Team, idea, execution, or tell me how you make a decision what startup is good for you?
I mean, all of those you just mentioned are very important, obviously, but I would say that we have a founder-first thesis. We look at the founder and how they're driven, if they have a proven track record, they've done any exits before, they're serial entrepreneurs or not. And most importantly, have they done their research? Do they know their products, their market that they're getting into, the competition they have? And do they know what product market fit do they they have? And those are all very important things, but more than the idea, I think the team behind it is the most important.
Yeah, and I'm interested what is ecosystem in Turkey for startups, because I haven't been there for talking with some startups.
Yeah, so we dedicate 70% of our fund to Turkey, actually. And Turkey is a really saturated and good emerging startup ecosystem. And I would say that our presence in Turkey is really good. We've done a lot of investments in Turkey, and there are a lot of entrepreneurs and people who want to be entrepreneurs in Turkey. But we really want to focus more on Central Eastern Europe and want to increase our presence here as well as we do in Turkey.
Yeah. Sanya, some questions for the guest?
Yeah, right now, to me, it sounds interesting from what you've seen in this region in terms of startup ecosystem. What are the, if you can choose, 2 best things that you've seen and 2 worst, it's a hard word, but the things that, let's say, you didn't like? If we can, 3 cons and 3 pros, from the startup ecosystem that you've seen here. It doesn't matter, it can be connected with the founders, with the ideas, with the laws in the region, with everything, with the infrastructure, with the culture, mentality, something that pops to your mind. What do you love, what do you like, and what do you dislike?
First of all, our thesis revolves around expanding into global markets from the start, and that should be the first ambition in the entrepreneurs here as well. So the thing I see most here is the local point of view for their expansion. When they start here and they want to continue being here, it's not a good mentality. Some people come to us and say that we've just started our business here and we're going to be having customers here, and then the rest of the Europe, and then the US. And that's not a good mentality, because the customers, the market saturation, the market expectations are all different in the US than in the EU. So they should directly start from the US and not expand into US. And that's a bad mentality, in my opinion.
This is great point of view, because that's true. Actually, most of our startups say we're a small country, let us test here like a pilot project, and then we learn and go outside. But as you said, firstly, the trend might not be any more popular. If it's AI, maybe while testing, it will go away. And the second, the mentality is definitely different. So, yeah, maybe just technical testing would be good, like the testing of the
I think a good mentality is just having the team here, the entrepreneurs being from here, and then right after just forming the startup, going into the US directly, and maybe going to San Francisco for 6 months, and then just being in that startup ecosystem environment, and then directly selling into the US, and that's the best mentality here. As I said, the local mindset might not be a good idea. But hiring from Central Eastern Europe with these talented people is the best part of what we're doing, I think.
Yeah, I was joking in one podcast I was part of in Bali, actually, with a lady. What are the advantages? I was talking about disadvantages and also some law regulations connected with investing here, because we have some issues, but the advantage that I've mentioned is that here the price for failure, it's much, much cheaper. And when I say price for failure, is because we have high talented IT people who will build a great app, but it's not so much expensive to make failures. And that's how you learn as an entrepreneur with pivoting. I'm not saying that the company should fail, but I'm saying like you develop one feature, then the second feature, and that will not cost that much money. So, and that's the main thing. It's not pivoting, but spending the money of the investor or your own money. It's the trick. So failing, it's cheaper.
And also, like for the entrepreneurs, it's just much more bigger stakes, because we invest in lots of companies, but they only have one startup, and they're going to be doing it for a couple of years. So the stakes are much higher for them. So having the right strategy and especially the global strategy is important for them.
Okay. So as you said, the good things are that the hiring and the talent here is great, and it's also cheaper in terms of failure. But the bad part is that the expansion strategy, that they don't think global. Like that would be...
I mean, I can't say that they don't all think global, but just starting off from the US, if that is the end goal, should be the right perspective, I think.
Can you tell me, I'm interested more about the unicorns that you have in your portfolio. In what stage you have invested in these companies, and what kind of things they are doing, and how much time they need from beginning to unicorn?
So from our first fund, which I wasn't here for in the first fund. I wish I was, though. Those were very good times. Insider, Carbon Health, Firefly, Billion to One. Those were all the companies that we invested in the early stages, and they all had a very global perspective. They all started from the US, and as we all see from the 30 unicorns in the CE region, they all started from the US. Like 95% started from the US, and that's how they became unicorns. And it's all possible within a year or so. I mean, it changed from startup to startup, but those are good wins for us.
Yeah.
So you invested in which stage? Do you know? Like they had...
In seed, pre-seed round?
Yeah, in seed stages.
Seed, so they were doing some revenue, something, or not?
Yes. I mean, usually in seed stages, startups start having some traction.
Yes.
And pre-seed, we expect less traction, but more founder quality. That's how we invest in pre-seed. But yeah.
So they did. Okay.
And Insider, Firefly, our general partners knew the founders, actually. They knew from their network, so they knew how good quality the founders were. So those are good convictions for us to invest in them as well.
Yes, okay. And what would be the metrics, if you can put it in words, like bulletins? What are the metrics that 500 sees in the beginning, besides the founder's quality, as you've mentioned, other things?
I think it depends. And there are red ocean markets and blue ocean markets, for example, when we look at from a macro perspective. If it's a red ocean market, we expect market to be very saturated, and there is a very low tech barrier. So they can easily actually make revenues, but it's harder for them to actually get market share and grow bigger. So in these stages, we actually look at a lot of metrics, especially the sticky user base, which is like retention, churn, and lifetime value, user acquisition costs, and all of the metrics that you can send to us is especially important. And also like if it's like an app, daily active users, monthly active users, weekly active users, those are all the metrics that we ask for when we talk with startups. On the other hand, if it's a blue ocean market, then there is no competition. It's not tried a lot. The market is not saturated. Then we mostly look at the tech and also the founders, the team, and do they explain the need for us and why now question? Can they answer the why now question?
Yes.
Do they have like technical capabilities? Do they like actually meet a problem in the blue ocean market? And the blue ocean market, as I said, is like the whole majority of our investments in our second
so
fund.
mostly you invest in blue ocean.
Yes.
I mean, until now, I know what these strategies mean, but I never thought that a VC would invest in red ocean strategy, because it's like a huge competition, and also that's why it has blood in the oceans. Actually, a lot of competitors, but tiny market share, so it's hard to penetrate because there are multiple players. If we talk in red ocean perspective, what would it mean investing? Can you share some examples? Should they have, again, unique value proposition if it's red ocean strategy? But it's mostly what diversifies them from the competitors is the user experience, the price. What would it be in that, like the criterias?
So if it's a red ocean market, then they should be able to show us a clear tech moat. They should have a defensible technology that no one or like would it be hard to replicate.
Okay. So like doing something similar but faster than someone on the market, let's say filtering some listings. Similar and faster. That's what you're trying to say, something like that.
Yeah, for example, they have a software that they've built, and it's on like an emerging technology, and they have a very quicker, a better way to do things. A solution for a problem that's on the red ocean market, and that with that they showed very clear traction, very good growing metrics, month over month revenue growth, and yeah,
very good. Okay, tell me more about the ecosystem in Macedonia. Have you been in contact with more people here? Have you talked, or this is just your first time coming here and only you met Sanya till now?
I only met Sanya, and you're my first two friends.
First two entrepreneurs. So statistically, no.
And from the news, what you have read for Macedonian startup ecosystem?
I know.
Do you have some expectations here?
Of course, we do have some expectations. It's also an emerging market, although a smaller market. We've been focusing more on Poland, Romania, Hungary especially, and now Bulgaria and Greece, but haven't much focused on Macedonia before. So hopefully this is going to be an initiation for us as well, and we'll be exploring Macedonia with the longest pitch marathon as well. So what I could say about the CE ecosystem is that the individual CE ecosystems have different dynamics than emerging markets like LATAM, Africa, and Middle East. And in these kind of markets, the population density is lower, and the market depth is not that high. So especially in these type of Central Eastern Europe markets, entrepreneurs are actually more like supported to go global. They need to go global because they can't actually grow much in this type of low market depth kind of ecosystem in the CE.
Yeah, and the exponential growth, it's less because it cannot go something viral that fast because the density is. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I have also some questions about if there is someone that is listening us and like to pitch you about some idea or startup that they have, what is the procedure? Can they make Zoom call with you, or what is the things that you need?
So they can always email us when they go into their website 500E. But I usually meet people over Zoom because it's impossible for our whole team to be in the CE region at the same time and be everywhere. So we do constantly Zoom calls with entrepreneurs. We do like 1 hour, 30-minute calls, and they present us with their pitch and we ask their questions. And the procedure actually goes like this. Usually we talk within the team about the startup after they pitch us. And then the second meeting is with the general partner. Our general partners are Enis and Orem. And we do a call together. And then we do deep dives, do due diligence, and then the procedure goes like that. And we're fairly fast about the whole procedure. It goes down within a month usually. So
in the month you can close the deal.
Yeah, some deals stick longer if the situation is not clear, if we're not very sure, so it goes a couple months as well. But sometimes it's fairly fast, and sometimes you need to act fast actually, because some very good deals actually go really fast. There are lots of VCs giving term sheets to them. So it really depends on occasion.
Yeah, second question on this part is, will you invest in Macedonian company, or you will like that company after to open a subsidiary company in Turkey and then you invest there, or what are the rules?
Yeah, so according to our mandate, the founders should be from Central Eastern Europe or Turkey, or it can be diaspora deals, which means like we have a lot of diaspora deals actually. So the founders are from Turkey, but they live in another country or in the US. So that's a diaspora deal, but there's no requirement like that. They can be from here. They don't have to have a subsidiary in Turkey.
Okay.
So there's no specific type of company that you need, for example, Delaware Corp or something. So it's not...
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's my point. Can someone from Macedonia apply and start working with them, or they will say, okay, first open the US-based company and then we can invest? Because with some investors that I have talked before, they say, oh, sorry, but we are not investing in Macedonian companies. If you're someday open and work from UK or USA, then we can talk about...
Yeah, but that's because of the tax refund. So
I don't know, maybe...
Yeah, the law regulations.
Yeah, something like that.
What about the industry? We talked before, you've mentioned health, then right now AI. Do you have something in mind right now? What industry have you invested in, and what are your expectations like to happen? In which industry you're going to invest in the future?
So there are hot topics in the market right now, especially under the broader umbrella of AI, ML, and the software businesses. Especially I'm looking into the vector database right now, and it's really emerging. It's the, the semantic search, the content-based searching, and it's really fast and scalable. And we're looking at some companies like that as well. Also, maybe B2B SaaS companies, marketplace companies could be it. We have a lot of gaming companies in the second fund as well.
So, and is there any safe industry that you would say we were investing before, now, and it's still like, is there any industry that you would say it's continuously like base of investing, or that industry is not existing?
Yeah, the safe bet is always the technology industry and the software businesses. And we tend to want our investments to be more B2B focused rather than B2C focused, and not too hardware focused as well. So we tend to kind of stay away from those as well.
Okay. about these unicorns and which industries they were, because it's interesting to us. We still didn't have the first unicorn in the country. So what is the secret recipe of these unicorns that already appeared? The founders, their age, something that it's like, you know, when you describe an ideal bad persona, the industry.
Yeah, so I think the secret sauce is the team behind them, because they acted the right time and in the right place. They acted, they found a solution in the right time and did that in the US and started expanding from the US. And those founders also had exited before. They had entrepreneurship history, so they knew what to do, and they had good founder market fit, which means that they had actually worked in those industries before. For example, we had Plum from the Europe part. It's in the fintech industry, and they had a good customer base and catched a very good stickiness to it as well. So I think it depends on the founder and how they actually manage to just get the customer and stay with it.
Yes. I like this that you mentioned. It's founder market fit, because I never heard it before, but I think it's very important for founders to have the knowledge inside that, at least most of the founders in the industry they operate. That's awesome.
Yeah, for example, if a founder just like worked for a very good company, like a very good technology or any company, and then afterwards he decides to do start a startup from the knowledge from that company within the same industry and same knowledge, and that's much more powerful because he knows what the customer needs and how the products form and how it's used. So it's much more useful. And we look at the founder market for that, especially. We look if the founder has done anything within that industry, and that's a very good investment call for us as well.
Yeah. Maybe one last would be about the opportunity. You said 70% of your fund invests in Turkey. So these 30, they might sound like, okay, 30, but how yearly, or can you tell us about the opportunity that money-wise or startup number, for example, yearly we invest, these 30% are 10 startups or something like that. Do you?
We have a 70 million fund right now, and we've done 21 investments from the second fund, and we've only dedicated 20% of the fund, I could say. And we're doing like 1 or 2 investments per quarter. And I said 30%, but actually we're trying to up that, and we're trying to make it even more. And that's going to be possible just meeting founders here, coming here more often. I can't say an exact number because some investments are like very small tickets. It depends on the valuation, as you know, and sometimes it's a higher ticket. So I can say a very good number of investments to be done here as well.
One last question from me. How many startups from your portfolio have failed?
You finished with the very,
With the fail,
very good question.
We'll set another one after that.
Yeah, I can say that we have a couple that have failed from the first fund, and maybe not very good looking in the second fund as well. But that's actually a very good thing, and let me tell you why.
You learn?
No, that's not the reason.
They don't want to learn, okay?
So when you look at this perspective, venture capital is just a very risky job, right? You're investing some other people's money, and you need to have good returns and bring the returns to the LPs you have. Yeah. So you need to actually take risks, and with the risk, you reach the unicorn, and the unicorn actually just comes with the good result of the whole fund. And of course, you're going to have a couple failures in the fund, but that's okay because you have the one unicorn, and that's a very small percentage of chance, and these are also that part of the chance. So you need to do a lot of risky choices, and then the failures are a part of it.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're proud of our failures.
And is it this is interesting because I'm not sure whether you can answer it, and not to end with failure. But what are the expected revenues? Right now, I would ask this question from a perspective from someone who potentially would love to have some VC in a region, or to fund at least. What are the expected revenues that these limited partners are expecting from you? Like, because it's startup, like they need to wait at least, so it's not like they could get it. It's not even similar to investment funds or something. So what are their expectations?
Yeah, so our first fund was 5 or 5.6x return. So that was a very good return. And now for the second fund, it's undetermined because it's still ongoing. But usually you say that 2x, 3x is a good return for a VC fund. And there are some VC funds that return 1x, 1.x as well. Those just depend on it. And that's an okay result as well, because you get the money you give. But I would say that our fund one was a very good return of 5.6x, I think.
I was thinking that she will tell me 50-60%, not 5x.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
very good, very good numbers.
It's a great motivation for investors to start thinking. So maybe some investor would be interested. Can we invest in 500?
Yeah, they should.
They should. Okay.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.